about to our fans of our site what it meant to you working for Fox Sports and how you got to this point in your career.
Well, it's been just awesome. As awesome as I think most people would expect that it would be to get to work in college sports, and not only that, but to get to work with, in my opinion, two of the best, if not the best, conferences in the country with the SEC and the ACC, and just getting a chance to be around college athletics all the time. I mean, you guys know it's just invigorating and exciting, and you feel the passion, and feel very fortunate to be able to be a part of that. And I will be starting, I think it's my 8th year at Fox Sports South this fall, and I just was one of those right place, right time moments for me. I was a high school sports reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and they had a high school sports show here at a local station in Atlanta, and I started doing some features for that. And then I started working for the production company that produced that show. I left the newspaper to do that. And that production company actually lost the high school sports show after 1 year of my working on it, but they had connections with Fox, and so I kind of got my foot in the door there as a reporter for SEC TV and what was then ACC Live, and the rest is history. They haven't kicked me out of the door yet, so I'm thankful for that.
Of the ACC and the SEC, what are your favorite venues, football related, to visit to do games for?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's really not a bad place to go, and I'll have to think here. You know, there's not one that I've had a negative experience at. I can tell you a couple that stand out. Going down to the Swamp in Florida is definitely an intimidating experience to be inside that stadium on game day. Very hot, as you might expect, but just a great atmosphere there. Let's stick with the SEC for a minute. I haven't been to as many SEC sites. I have been in Alabama.
Yeah, you covered the Vandy game, right, in 2007?
Believe it. I know. You guys know how that one feels. But here in the Roll Tide, and when they play the Sweet Home Alabama over the speakers with Brian Denny, I mean, it's just, yeah, it makes you feel alive and very fortunate to be doing what you're doing. You know, it's hard to pick a favorite. Like I said, I haven't gotten a chance to be there on game day. I've done features at a lot of schools, but as of yet, haven't been to that many SEC schools. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to do some more. I have been at the Stanford Stadium in Georgia, and that's a great atmosphere as well. I mean, you really can't go wrong in the SEC. And the ACC, I haven't, I'm trying to think, it's been a few years. You guys are testing my memory here. But definitely down at Florida State, Tallahassee, that's a very cool stadium. I was there on a Thursday night a couple of years ago. I don't know, there's not, I guess, one that stands out to me as being superior over all others. They're all pretty awesome. And yes, that is my answer that hopefully won't offend anyone.
Now, growing up in the southeastern region, I mean, were you always a sports fan? Is this always something you wanted to do, or did the opportunity just happen for you?
Well, I'll have to tell you, I actually didn't grow up in the South. I'm a Yankee, forgive me. I grew up in upstate New York. So I always played sports and was very involved in athletics, but I didn't come from a family that watched a lot of sports on television. So I wanted to get into sports. I knew that's what I wanted to do because it was something that I always loved. And I think I've had to play catch up a little bit just because I loved it as being a participant, not as much as a spectator. I just hadn't had that experience growing up. And then when I came down to Atlanta to go to college at Emory University, I quickly realized what a big deal football especially was down here, and I just fell in love with it. Now to have the chance to be involved with SEC football, doing sideline, I mean, that's something that I dreamed of ever since I got into this business. So, yeah, I'm psyched.
Okay, Dan, did you have something else you wanted to ask her?
Yes. Do you enjoy basketball more than covering football games, or how does that play out?
You know what? They're different. Football, sometimes when you're down there on the sideline, and just depending on how the game's going, it can seem really long, whereas basketball moves so quickly. You know, it's just that game seems to go by a lot faster for me, but I love both of them for different reasons and in different ways. Obviously, I played basketball, so I feel like from a knowledge standpoint, I have a better understanding of that game. I mean, I've learned about football, but you know, I wasn't a player or a coach in that, and where I was that in basketball, so that makes a big difference. But they're both awesome. I can't pick one over the other.
Did you talk a little bit about some mentors and some friends you've had in the business that have helped you along the way and how you've gotten to this point to where you are now?
Sure, yeah. One of the first people that I got hooked up with as a mentor was Andrea Kramer, actually, who, everybody knows who Andrea is and what a fantastic and reliable reporter she's been at every level she's been on, so respected. And I was lucky enough to just kind of haphazardly get matched with her through this organization called the Association of Women in Sports Media that I joined when I was just out of college. And she was great. I won't say that she and I kept in touch a lot because she was really busy, but anytime I did reach out to her, she had advice, whatever I wanted to know about. She was there to help me. And then, I think behind the scenes at Fox Sports South, Ray Goodrich is a senior producer there who has really mentored me along the way. And he may not be a name that a lot of people, as a fan, know about, but most of the people behind the scenes know Ray, know what a good job he does and how creative he is, and just his abilities in writing and in putting feature stories together and in creating a show have, I think, really helped me a lot along the way.
Well, this is actually, just to let you know and our fans know, this is a part of our series of the impact of women in the sports media. So this is interesting that you bring that up. In terms of that, obviously there's a big, huge presence of female reporters in the sports media and that sort of thing. How do you think, in general, they're perceived? I mean, have you ever had issues or worries about how some fans or some people may perceive you as, being an attractive female or whatnot, or do you feel like that the women in the sports media obviously have proven over the years? I mean, what's your take on being a woman in the sports media and how you may be perceived?
Oh, well, let me first say, of course I think about how I'm perceived, and I think every woman in sports does and will continue to for a long time. First of all, we're women, so we just kind of do that anyway. We don't leave that part behind. But secondly, yeah, I mean, there's been such an influx of women in sports, which has been amazing. Obviously, it's been great for me. But at the same time, I think that there were some bad decisions made of people that were put in positions for the wrong reasons, be it their looks or connections they had or whatever it may be. And I think that, at least what I hope for myself, and I can only speak for myself, is that the ones that last, the ones that will gain respect from people, are the ones that kind of bring the whole package. Obviously television is a visual medium, so it does matter how you look, but it matters more what you say and what you know, and I think that comes across pretty quickly. The people who shouldn't be there, they get exposed usually, pretty quickly, and I think that it's something we need to earn. We need to earn it more than men do, and that's just how it is, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with going out there and proving myself to people, and I hope I've been able to do a good job of that.